Stampers, it's Nancy from stampinshout.com. Welcome back. Well, this week I am going to be making cards with the Softly Sketched stamp set. But before we get started, I do want to remind you that this Wednesday is a very exciting day because that's when the new mini catalog goes live. So I'm very excited. And last week, the cards we made last week were the Abundant Beauty masks. Those are in this mini catalog. So I will put a link down below in this video, plus all my last week's video, the Abundant Beauty masks. I will put links there too. They won't be live until Wednesday, but I'm excited for you to check that out. And if you do not have a demonstrator and you don't have a catalog, let me know and I'd be happy to send one to you. So let's get started. Okay, so the Softly Sketched stamp set. This is in the annual catalog, and this is a really easy to use stamp set. But I'm going to show you some really pretty cards, and I'm going to show you a couple of different tips and tricks. They're very simple, like I said, to use, but sometimes less is more, right? So I hope you like this week's card, and we're going to start off with this card here. I just love it. It turned out really, really cute. And yeah, it's simple, but it's really pretty in person. So let me open it up here. Let me talk a little bit about this paper. This designer series paper, it is in the new mini catalog, and it's called Oh Holy Night. And the colors are basic black, boho blue, copper clay, crumb cake, misty moonlight, night of navy, pebbled path, and very vanilla. So it's very, it kind of goes with the nativity scene stamps, but the back side can go with a lot of different occasion cards, which I use this one right here for today's card. So I want to mention that it doesn't necessarily have to be for Christmas or a religious themed card. The backs have, generic designs, so you can do almost anything with them. And again, this is the card we're going to make today. So I will bring in the supplies. I have a very vanilla card base. And as far as the measurements and the supplies I use, they will be on my blog. And there's where you will go to find my blog. And so you don't have to worry about that. So this is 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. Then I have an inside piece that's 5 1/4 by 4. My front piece is 5 by 3 3/4. Then I have 3 pieces of the designer series paper that's 1 1/4 by 3 3/4 each. And then my stamping piece is 5 by 1 3/4. So let me bring in a scrap sheet here and we'll go ahead and stamp. So I do have to say that I'm using soft suede, and I know that that's a discontinued color, but when I started researching this little flower, I think it's called an Iliad or something similar, the soft suede just seemed to reach out to me, and that's the color I'm using. Again, the paper is copper clay and pebbled path, but you can do whatever you like, right, when you're stamping, because it is your card, and you can create it however you want. So I am going to ink that up, and again, I used soft suede, and I'm going to stamp it right in the middle of this strip. And it looks so pretty, just the way they have the darkened areas. It's very realistic looking. It's very, very pretty. So now I'm going to bring in my other little stamp, which says hello. And I'm going to stamp it right here at the top. And I'm going to stamp it on an angle. You can stamp it in the center at the top if you'd like. Then I'm going to bring in this other little stamp, and it's just a little dot stamp, and I got it out of the Petal Park stamp set, and it's the little dots right here. And I am actually going to stamp that in crumb cake. So let me find my crumb cake. Things hide from me on my desk here. I can never find everything I need. So I'm just going to stamp here and there with crumb cake and just give it a little bit more pizzazz, but subtle pizzazz. I don't know what the word for that would be. Okay, so just like that. Isn't that pretty? Hey, before we go any further, I want to show you a little trick, and I meant to do this before I even stamped, but I want to talk a little bit about putting the little label on the back of your stamp and how easy that is. So what you want to do is you want to get a block, and you want to take your little stencil label, and you want to peel it off all the way. Before I do that, I'm going to find where it's separated here. I'm just going to start it a little bit before I continue. So I just peeled it back because that's going to make it easier when I get ready to take the whole backing off. So I'm peeling the whole sticker off, and I'm sticking it on my stamping block. And then I'm going to peel off the backing. And then I'm going to take my stamp and make sure that you have the backing that comes with it off. You know how it comes with that little, let me show you, comes with that little backing. Make sure you take that off. So you lay your stamp down, and then you take your block and you position it right over it, and you have to get really close to make sure it's all nice and even. Then you just lower it down, press it down, and then when you peel it off, just peel it off carefully, and there you go. That's the easiest way I have found to put your labels on your stamp pad. Isn't that cool? I love that idea. Okay, let's keep going with our card. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to take my 3 pieces of designer series paper. Gave you a wrong measurement before, so see, that's why it's good to go to my blog afterwards and get the measurements there, because these are all supposed to be 1 1/2, not 1 3/4. Okay, now let's continue. So these little strips are going to go just like this, and you're going to have a little bit of a border at the top and in between each one, but not at the sides. I have them 3 3/4 long, just like the piece of Very Vanilla underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these on. Okay, just like that. I'm going to trim this up just a little bit here. Now this piece here, I'm going to go ahead and tie a bow, and I have some copper ribbon here. So I do want to mention too that if you're interested in joining Stampin' Up, you could join my team, and we have a great group of friends, and it's just so much fun. And the reason I'm saying that is because it's really a great deal. For $99, you get to choose $125 worth of free product. So with that new mini catalog coming out, you could get a lot of stuff. And then after that initial purchase, you get 20% off on all your future purchases. So if you are interested in any of that information, you can contact me. I do have it on my blog also, but I like when people call me and ask me about it before they go ahead and jump in, because I can give you the best ideas of how to get the best products and all that good stuff. So anyway, just wanted to make sure you knew about that. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and glue the DSP piece to the front of the, whoops, I'm missing a piece. This card also has an early espresso mat, so I'm going to glue that to the front of the card. I'm going to glue the DSP part to the front of the card, and then I'm going to glue our strip to the front of the card. So that's the front of the card, and then we're going to do just a little stamping inside. So I am going to bring back in that pretty stamp and my soft suede. And I'm going to stamp right down here in the bottom left corner. And that just gives just a little bit of interest on the inside. So that's all I'm going to do on the inside, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that to the inside. I also wanted to mention that I'm going to put a pause on the sending the cards out to the commenters, only because my YouTube channel is still growing, and it seems like I have the same people winning over and over and over again. And I love your comments and I appreciate them, but I think it'd be more fun when we get more people involved and more people commenting. But don't be surprised, because I can just send you happy mail. So look in your mailbox, and I'm sure one of these days you're going to get some happy mail from me just because. And that's what I like about cards, is that you can just send out happy mail. It doesn't have to be for an occasion. But going back to this card make a great guy card, could make a sympathy card, or just a thinking of you card. And the sentiments in here are great. It's like, just hope you know how amazing you really are. Just hope you know you're not alone. That would be great to stamp those on the inside. And just hope you know how much you'll be missed. And then just a simple I love you. So we're going to make cards using all of these images this week. So be sure you come back at noon all week. Go ahead and share my video. Let your friends know. And don't be shy. Stampin' Shout.